Most people dream of success, but aren't willing to do what it takes to achieve it. There's a saying in the Marines: everyone wants to go to heaven, but no one wants to die. The key to realizing any dream is self-discipline. The difference between wishful thinking and action lies in our ability to discipline our mind and choices. Discipline isn't about punishment, it's about making decisions that serve our long-term well-being. A simple example is how we eat. It's not about your body, but your mind. Self-discipline means controlling your impulses and acting in your own best interest. We often make choices that aren't aligned with our goals, whether it's eating unhealthy food or skipping responsibilities. It's easy to fall into these habits, but true self-discipline means saying no to instant gratification for long-term self-respect. When life gets tough, and the world feels like it's fighting against you, it's tempting to sabotage yourself. You might stop yourself from pursuing your goals, but it's important to realize that you have the power to control this. Discipline isn't about hurting yourself. It's about choosing to act in ways that build a better future. Self-discipline is self-love, and you show love to yourself by making choices that align with your greater goals. Self-discipline is about more than just resisting temptations. It's about understanding your own limits and strengths. It's saying, I love myself enough to hold back now so I can succeed later. If you truly love yourself, you will make the decisions that best serve your future, even if it means denying temporary pleasures. This kind of self-respect isn't just about avoiding bad habits, but actively creating the conditions for long-term happiness and success. True self-love means knowing when to step back. For example, you might be tempted to eat a slice of pizza, but self-discipline says, I love myself too much to eat that because I know it will make me feel terrible later. Similarly, if you know you have an important test coming up, self-discipline is choosing to stay in and study instead of going out with friends. In these moments, you're demonstrating self-respect and love by making choices that contribute to your long-term happiness. Self-love is also about avoiding distractions that hold you back. It's about looking at your behaviors, relationships, and habits through the lens of whether they help or harm you. Take a moment to examine who you spend time with. Are they contributing to your growth, or are they draining your energy? Surround yourself with people who fuel your ambition and inspire you to be better, not those who slow you down. In the journey towards success, discipline plays a pivotal role. The road to lasting happiness is paved with self-discipline. Our self-esteem should not be based on others' opinions, but on how we see ourselves. Too often, we let others define us, and in doing so, we distort our perception of who we really are. It's like looking into a broken mirror and trying to adjust ourselves to fit an image that isn't true. We have to stop looking for validation from others. When we depend on others' approval to define our worth, we lose sight of who we truly are. It's not about what people think of us. It's about how we feel about ourselves. Real self-esteem comes from knowing and accepting ourselves, not from constantly seeking approval. We can't base our sense of self on the opinions of others, as they are just fragments of reality, not the whole truth. It's easy to get stuck in the idea that things are someone else's fault. Whether it's a difficult childhood or a failed relationship, we often want to blame others for our pain. But taking responsibility for our own lives is essential for growth. It's not about blaming anyone. It's about owning our emotions and actions. When something goes wrong, it's not about whose fault it is, it's about how we move forward. When something happens to us, we often feel the urge to point fingers. But that keeps us in a state of victimhood where we are paralyzed by blame. Instead, we need to shift the focus to what we can control, our response, taking responsibility for our own life, happiness, and actions, the first step to breaking free from victimhood. Once we embrace this, we unlock our personal power, your heart, your happiness, your future. These are your responsibilities. No one else can do it for you. Others may influence your life, but how you feel about yourself, your life's direction, is entirely within your control. Stop waiting for others to fix things for you. It's your responsibility to build the life you want, regardless of what happened in the past or who is to blame. Ultimately, happiness is something you must create for yourself. You can't make someone else happy, and no one can do that for you either. Happiness is about self-acceptance, creating a life you're proud of, and embracing your journey. Seek people who nourish you, who help you grow. Are they pushing you toward your dreams, or are they draining your energy? The people around you should inspire you to be your best. We all have goals, dreams, and aspirations, but the difference between achieving them and falling short often comes down to discipline. Talent is innate, but skill is earned. Talent is something you're born with, but skill is developed over hours of hard work and practice. You don't get great by simply hoping to be. You get great by working tirelessly at your craft, day in and day out, to build something great. Don't think about the end result right away. Focus on the small, manageable steps. For instance, if you're building a wall, don't aim to build a massive wall in one go. Instead, lay each brick as perfectly as possible. Focus on getting that one brick right, and soon enough, you'll have built an entire wall. This principle applies to anything. Small steps, practice daily, will eventually lead to success. Psychologically, the challenge lies in taking that first step. The task ahead can seem insurmountable, but breaking it down into smaller, actionable parts makes it manageable. It's easy to freeze when looking at the big picture, but once you focus on the next step, progress becomes inevitable. Success doesn't come from looking at the entire mountain. It comes from climbing one step at a time. The key to overcoming fear and doubt is understanding that most of our fears are unfounded. It's like being afraid of jumping out of an airplane. The fear comes before the jump, when you're on the ground, but the moment you leap, you experience the greatest freedom. Most of the things we fear never happen. Our fears are just obstacles in our minds, stopping us from achieving greatness. Fear is often irrational. It holds us back from taking action, even when the situation itself is not dangerous. The moments we fear the most are often the ones that turn out to be the most rewarding. Fear can only control us if we let it. The more we face it and push through, the more we realize that there's nothing on the other side but growth and fulfillment. The best things in life are often hidden on the other side of fear. It's only by confronting our fears that we can discover our true potential. Fear keeps us from reaching the heights we're capable of, but it's also a signpost for where we need to go. If you want to change your life, take on the things that scare you, because they are the very things that will push you to grow.